Hi, it's Rachel. So, I've been talking about coming out of the beast system, okay, which is the world's systems and how it functions and how it thinks and the deception and the cruelty and all the things that it creates. And how this animal kingdom God has been showing me is a very huge one because of how many people are involved in it, the blindness that is involved in it, and the fact that it has a huge ripple effect in our perceptions. Okay, and that's what I want to talk about. So, to this, one thing that I've been learning is that we have all grown up with, in our thinking, is underscoring a lot of our thoughts we don't even realize is how we judge others in this world and creation. Okay, it's significant, insignificant, and a continuum between that. So, depending on all these different variables, we judge someone as significant or not so much. And we also do that with animals. Okay, we as a whole, most people think of as animals as less significant as us, therefore we can treat them as we want. We can kill them and eat them. We can be cruel to them. We can do basically whatever we want because they're not as important as us. Okay, that mindset has to be destroyed in us. Okay, that framework is all wrong. And when you start to move into understanding and truth, what you start seeing is that the ripple effects and how everything is connected. So sometimes it gets kind of overwhelming, to be honest, because I see the ripple effects of so many things and there's so much blindness. But that's just part of waking up, okay? And you're waking up in a world, you're waking up in the pit full of dead bones, okay? Dry bones. But those bones are going to come to life. And that's what's so miraculous about this. But we have to be patient and endure and persist and continue through that process with humility and gentleness and kindness, okay, and endurance. And sometimes that does take a lot of self-control, right? And that comes through understanding. Okay, when you realize that we're all in the same boat, we've all been misled, we've all been in blindness, and that allows us to have a lot of compassion and mercy as everybody's coming along in that journey. All right, so the one, I wanted to read you a verse from Proverbs. It says in it's in 16:18. It says, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." And that's exactly what this "I'm more significant than you," that's exactly what that means. That is the pride, that is that haughty spirit. And it says in Isaiah 10:33, it says, "Behold, the Lord of hosts, shall lop off the bough with terror, and the high ones of stature shall be hewn down, and the haughty shall be humbled." All right, so this is the time for us to be learning of reframing things. So the reframing is that instead of judging things as significant or not, we see all of God's creation as His creation, His handiwork, and as significant. Now, there is obviously a spirit of corruption, right, that is affecting a lot of human souls. Okay, but that is that spirit of corruption which is different than that soul. Okay, it totally affects that soul, but it's different. And if you have gone through your own kind of growth, you can see that. You can see how, you were blind, you didn't know, you were walking around in ignorance, you weren't seeking, so you're just kind of stumbling through this life. We've all been there, okay? But this is the thing, is that this haughtiness and this pride comes from that underlying judgment that we have almost from birth. Okay, we do it based on gender, based on race, based on culture. society, our status in society, our income, where we live, what age we are, what our family background is, what our appearance is. There are what religion we're a part of or not a part of, what beliefs we hold or don't hold, our intelligence level, and then that's all among people, right? That is judging significant or not, and then we do with the animals, we just judge them as less than us. Okay? Now, the reason that the animals are so important in this, and this is what God has shown me about a trickle down effect, is that if we can take what we almost everybody deems as insignificant or less than humans, which is animals, if we can exalt them and lift them up and say, no, they are just as significant, and in some ways more so, because they are weaker on certain levels and they are meek, okay, especially the ones that are abused by the meat and dairy industries. Pigs, cows, sheep. These are meek animals, okay? So it is that we should be lifting those up. That's what God does with us. We're the weaker ones. The stronger one is supposed to be supporting and caring and uplifting, not ruling over in terror and fear and cruelty and abuse. All right, that is not the ways of God. That is not what He desires for us. So we have to, this mindset though of this significance of how we're judging, that's where this all comes from. So we do it without even thinking. We just naturally assume that they're less than us, so it doesn't matter. We can kill them and eat them. It's no big deal. Okay? The kingdom of heaven, there is no harm or hurt. Okay? There is verses about the peace that exists in the animal kingdom and between the animal kingdom and us. That's what I'm talking about, because that's the ascension of the mind into the spirit of the divine. So how we see animals, if we can take what we see as least significant and raise them up, then that mindset is going to start affecting how we see other people. Okay? Because it's going to start changing our framework. That's why it's an amazing place to start. To start with them, because they are now deemed near the lowest. So, and that's what has happened over the years. You know, people have seen other races as less, more animal-like. So they've treated them poorly because they've seen them as less. That's the action that follows when you look at someone as less significant as yourself, it justifies, what follows is a thought is that it's okay to treat them poorly. It's okay to take advantage. It's okay to dismiss them or not worry about them, or it doesn't matter that they're suffering. Okay, those are the mindsets that follow. And what's so important about this significance is that if you can have this will change a lot of how you see the world. If you can embrace this new mind shift, okay, into seeing everything as significant, as everything is a beautiful part of God's creation. He is a loving creator. He designed everything in perfection. It's we who have applied the labels that has corrupted things and raised up some and lowered others. So we have to get rid of those and come out of that, because that's also the way of the world. Because the world does that to control and for power and for greed and for money and for so many different reasons. It's like you have to come out of those mindsets and raise up and come up into a new mind, a new way of thinking, a new way of viewing this creation. Because we are creation. We're going to be a part of creation. Okay, new heavens and a new earth, but it's still a creation. And it's going to be renewed because it's framed out in the perceptions of how everybody's treated, how it works. It's completely different. And some of these things that I'm sharing with you, I feel like are some of the fundamentals to that. So the significance is huge. So how you see And you'll start, if this is resonating with you, you're going to start seeing in your life how many ways you have made those judgments. And that's what that spirit of truth is doing in you. It's rewiring you. So it's getting rid of all those judgments and it's replacing honor and respect. The flip side of this is that when you start seeing others with significance, okay, you start gaining it yourself. Now, from my experience, personal and with other people, a lot of people struggle with significance. And if you've been watching my videos a while ago, I talked about 2 core lies that people believe, that one, they're not valued, and one, they're not loved, right? They're not worthy to be loved. And that ties in right with this sense of significance, because if you don't think you have value, then you're not tying much significance to yourself. And you, as long as you continue to treat other people or animals as not significant or less than you, you will never truly have the true significance without pride or arrogance or haughtiness. Okay, it will be a false self-exaltation that you have, but the true significance that comes in gentleness and with the right frame of mind is when you see everybody as significant, including yourself, but it's the same for all. It's like that, and that allows that spirit of God, that love, to flow to all creation. There's no boundaries anymore. You're allowing His Spirit to move freely however He wants to any part of creation, because you're seeing all of it as part of His and all is very significant. And therefore, that's how you treat them, the best as you know how. Again, we're not perfect. The kingdom of darkness, the corruption is everywhere. And so we're constantly waking up to new ways about how we've been feeding that corruption. But that's the part of this awakening. That's the part of this transition, is that we're starting to gain and open our eyes and start to see things as they really are. It's like we're starting to see the matrix from the outside, and it's very, very blinding. But that's what the truth will do for you. And that's why you have to seek, because when you seek, that's what you'll start finding is the truth. But it's a process and it builds, okay, layer upon layer. So this trickling effect is very important, and that's why if we can see the animal kingdom that we now deem the least significant, if we can raise them up, then that's going to affect how we treat other people. Because, for example, if you think it's okay to kill animals and eat them, if it's okay to put them in such cruel conditions, right, and that whole industry and all the things that it perpetuates, then you're never going to be able to see other people rightly, okay? Because that's a framework, that's reflecting a certain framework that you have. So to truly love others as yourself, to truly care for all of creation, this whole switch has to happen. And again, it is something that comes by the understanding and all the little networkings of our minds. So it's to seek God in this, for that spirit of truth, that inner counsel. Again, He's that spirit of truth that comes to you, that if you start seeking truth, He's going to start teaching you and showing you and opening your eyes, and you're going to start learning and growing. And as a result, you're going to start making different choices, responding differently, speaking differently. Just imagine if you saw people differently, how you perceive them is how you treat them. Okay, and that's why if we think it's okay to kill and destroy and hurt animals, then that translates quickly to other people. Okay, that's how our mind works. It works by these associations. So that's why these fundamental underlying things has to be renewed. This is, these things may seem simple, okay, but it is in the details, in these underlying concepts that had such massive ripple effects in our life. And so as we can embrace them, we are impacting not only our connection to God and His Spirit and ourselves, but everyone else. So our personal journey is very important and very impactful in the world at large. Because imagine if everybody was truly seeking that.